Love has a way of slipping through the cracks of history, rewriting the map of what we thought was possible. Tonight we drift through 10 forbidden love tales that changed the course of nations, art, and hearts. These are stories where feeling collided with duty, where longing faced judgment, and where the courage to love differently left a lasting mark on the world. So lean in, and let the echoes of these romances remind you that a single heartbeat can ripple through time. In Verona, the air was thick with old feuds and fresh desire. Romeo and Juliet crossed the line between private longing and public peril in a city where whispers could become knives. Their love began as a spark in a crowded market and grew into a blaze that illuminated a truth many feared, that when two souls collide, loyalty to family and tradition can crumble beneath the weight of a single vow. Their story did not end with a tidy bow, but it changed how we think about youth, rebellion, and the price of choosing love over legacy. Across the Mediterranean, Cleopatra and Antony chose each other in a world where power was a weapon and loyalty a line drawn in blood. Desire tangled with empire, and seduction became strategy as they faced a Roman machine that did not bow to romance. Their love reshaped the map of the ancient world, forcing Rome to confront its own myths about duty and desire. Even when destiny turned harsh and history demanded a verdict, their bond lingered as a reminder that those who dare to fight for it. In a quiet corner of a medieval world, Abelard and Heloise challenged the sacred order with letters that burned brighter than priests' vows. Their romance survived burned manuscripts and cold cell walls, carried forward by sentences that argued for intellect, trust, and the stubborn hope that truth can exist beyond prohibition. The story of their love is a map of the heart's stubbornness, a declaration that minds and souls can collide across the boundaries men place around them. Their legacy lives in the halls of scholarship and in every hoping it will outlive even time itself. Tristan and Isolde rode the wind of a legend that refused to stay quiet. Love demanded a risk, then demanded more. They sailed toward a fate that might erase them. Yet their passion yielded a different kind of history. It enriched the imagination, fueling an endless chorus of songs and tales about longing, loyalty, and the perilous joy of two people choosing affection in a world built on duty. Their tale taught that longing can become art, and art can outlive kingdoms. Layla and Majnun belong to a desert of longing, a poem whispered through centuries. Their love was forbidden by custom, fate, and the fear of ordinary life. Yet their vow to one another stirred poets, musicians, and dreamers to believe in a devotion so fierce it could outlast time. Theirs is a story that taught the world to cherish spiritual longing as a force that reshapes culture. From lyric verses to the very way we tell stories of desire, Lancelot and Guinevere stood at the crossroads of honor and hearts. The knightly code demanded restraint, the heart demanded truth. Their forbidden romance became the legend that breached Camelot's walls, haunting kings and bards for generations. What began as shared glances spilled into a saga about the fragility of trust and the courage it takes to name love even when it alters an entire realm. The consequence was not merely personal betrayal, but a myth that reshaped ideas about virtue, loyalty, and the cost of longing. Elizabeth I carried a crown and a flutter of scandal in equal measure. Her rumored bond with Robert Dudley forced a nation to reckon with the tension between public duty and private desire. The whispers didn't just color court life, they reshaped politics, influencing choices about succession, foreign policy, and personal autonomy. In a world that loves certainty, their connection reminded us that history is often steered by the quiet, powerful pressure of a love that cannot be neatly contained. Mary, Queen of Scots, and Lord Darnley moved through a storm of ambition and betrayal. Their marriage was a gamble with fireworks, a romance that accelerated a clockwork of intrigue across two kingdoms. Their story shows how love can become a catalyst for upheaval, accelerating revolutions of thought, religion, and power. When a union tests the very foundations of state, history can never be the same. Shah Jahan and Mumtaz Mahal loved with a force that built monuments and redefined memory, while their love faced the rough politics of empire. It gave birth to the Taj Mahal, a world-spanning symbol of how beauty and longing can outlive a life and outdistance a century. Their romance is a quiet argument for art as a legacy, proving that love can become a public good when it shapes cities, tunes poetry, and invites generations to dream a little larger. Napoleon and Josephine remind us that power and affection often walk at different speeds. Their bond survived exile, defeat, and the cold miles between continents. Even when politics pressed in from every side, their letters and memories kept a flame alive. A beacon that love can endure beyond borders, betrayals, and the hardest tests. Their story invites us to believe that even the strongest empires can be softened by tenderness, and that love can be the most stubborn force of history. As these 10 stories come together, listen for the thread that runs through them all. Love is not a simple sentiment but a catalyst. It compels people to take risks, to dream out loud, to rewrite rules and redraw borders. When lovers refuse to yield to fear, history shifts. When they choose each other again and again, the world learns to imagine a future where passion and duty can coexist, where flaws become part of the equation, and where happiness is sometimes born from the bravest choices we make with our hearts. If these tales feel distant, remember how they echo in your own life: the moments you chose hope over hesitation, the letters you kept, the promises you whispered, the small acts that tell another person, and perhaps yourself, that love is worth the fight. May this walk through history leave you with a gentle glow, that true love can endure, transform, and become a legend worth retelling in every generation. Yet there is more to them than scandal or tragedy. Behind every turning point and balcony kiss lies a blueprint for how human beings choose to endure. Romeo and Juliet whispered that youth's hunger can sharpen perception and push older minds to reconsider borders. Cleopatra and Antony showed that desire can redraw empires, even if the price is survival. Abelard and Heloise remind us that intellect can become a battlefield for the heart, a testament to how love can survive in the margins of power. Tristan and Isolde teach that longing can turn into art, fueling poets and musicians for centuries. Layla and Majnun reveal that devotion can turn the desert into a sanctuary of memory, shaping verses and vows across generations. Lancelot and Guinevere illuminate the ache between loyalty and longing, forcing legends to confront what a single truth can cost a crown. Elizabeth I and Dudley show how fragile a throne can be when the heart speaks aloud. The history books become more human when rulers listen to their own yearnings. Mary, Queen of Scots, and Darnley remind us that alliances forged in passion can become storms that alter borders and beliefs. Shah Jahan and Mumtaz Mahal reveal that the most lasting monuments are often built from two hearts, choosing to dream aloud together. And Napoleon and Josephine prove that even in exile, a stubborn love can become a compass, guiding a tired empire toward a kinder memory than conquest alone. These 10 threads, once private, wove into public fabric, laws softened, customs shifted, and in some cases, doors opened to new kinds of courage. The world learned that love isn't a simple, tidy yes. It's a weather system that can alter currents and redraw coastlines. When lovers step beyond the safe path, they leave a trace that persists in art, in language, in the way people dare to dream about choosing again tomorrow. So if you're listening in with a hopeful heart, consider what these stories ask of you. They ask you to tend your own flame with patience, to protect whispers of affection when the world asks for quick judgments, and to trust that perseverance can turn longing into something resilient, something that outlives a single moment of longing or a passing season of doubt. Love, in these tales, isn't simply romance, it's a discipline. A practice that invites generosity, forgiveness, and the willingness to risk. If a century can be moved by a letter, a vow, or a gaze across a crowded room, imagine what small acts of steadfast kindness could do in your own life. The forbidden, when handled with care, becomes a teacher. It teaches us to protect what matters, to honor our emotions without surrendering our values, to build bridges where walls stood, and to hold fast to hope even when the weather